There. Okay, good. Okay, so Mrs. Steve's, well, we're making a video at the same time, so we're just going to be really quiet. We're videotaping this for Gia, so she can hear. So, grade ones, we are starting our next chapter book, and it is called The Littles Go Exploring, and it is a very exciting adventure. So, here we go. The Littles Go Exploring by John Peterson, chapter 1. Tom and Lucy Little stood on the roof of the Biggs's house. They watched Cousin Dinky's glider climb high into the sky and disappear beyond the trees. Quinn has a face. We have a new character. Who's Tom? The boy, right? He's 10. Who's Lucy? She's 8. Who's Cousin Dinky? Did you ever hear that before?
No.
Okay. Good question, or good idea, Keegan. It could be Uncle Pete's brother, or maybe Uncle Pete's son. Because usually an uncle is like the dad, and the son in that family would be your cousin. So we're meeting a new character, and his name is Cousin Dinky. And listen, they watched Cousin Dinky's glider fly high into the sky. What's a glider?
Oh, you're flying.
Nora, what's a glider?
A glider is something that you hold on to and you glide through the sky.
Right, it's like an airplane, but it doesn't have an engine. It just glides on the wind. So Cousin Dinky flies an airplane. Do you see Tom and Lucy here on the roof?
Yeah.
Okay, there's Cousin Dinky in the airplane. Now watch this. I'm going to freeze this picture and you can hear. Freeze. There we go. So, they watched Cousin Dinky's glider climb high into the sky and disappear beyond the trees. A minute before that, they had seen Cousin Dinky zoom down and drop a letter into the Biggs's chimney. Do you see the chimney?
Yeah.
Do you see what's across the chimney? I'll show you, Gia. There's the picture. Across the chimney, there's a net. So Cousin Dinky flew over top of the chimney and he dropped a letter. Not like ABCD letter. What do you mean letter? Like mail. He dropped it in the chimney. What's on top of the chimney though? A net. Why is there a net?
So it doesn't fall in the chimney and the pigs will see it and it dies.
You got it.
And over.
This was the way that the Little family always got their mail. They had put a net across the chimney to keep the letters from falling into the fireplace below. The children ran to pick up the letter, but the net was empty. Hey, said Tom, there was a letter, wasn't there?
But what if
Laura, what do you think?
what if it went through?
What if it went through the net? Good thinking, Laura. Lucy pointed. Look, Tom, she said. There's a hole in the net. The letter must have fallen through. Wait, said Tom. Look down there, inside the chimney. Lucy lay down flat on her stomach on the top of the chimney, and she peered into the darkness below. I see something white, she said. Is that the letter? But where is it? Well, it must be stuck on one of the bricks inside the chimney. I'm going to climb down there and get it.
He's gonna fall.
Tom, said Lucy, are you crazy? You might fall into the fireplace and get hurt. Or the Biggs might see you. What would happen to us then, Tom? To be seen by the Biggs would be the worst thing that could happen to Lucy and Tom and their whole family, because they were Littles, and the Littles were tiny people. They were tiny. The biggest little was just 6 inches tall. The littles lived secretly inside the walls of a house owned by
The big.
and Mr. Big and his family. There were 8 littles in all. How many do we know about grade 1s? Tom, Lucy, who else? Uncle Pete, Granny, Mom, and Dad. How many is that?
6. But now we know that. And it's the cat.
There's got to be 2 more littles.
The cat.
Listen up.
We don't want anymore.
There were 8 littles in all. Tom, who was 10 years old. Lucy, who was 8 years old. Their parents, Mr. and Mrs. Little. Sawyer, can you listen, honey? Mr. and Mrs. Little. Their baby sister.
The new one.
Their grandmother. And 2 uncles. I'm going to show you a picture on the screen, grade 1s, of all of the new little characters you are meeting. Take a look. There is Tom, Lucy, Mr. Little, Mrs. Little, Baby Betsy.
Baby Betsy.
Okay, take a look at your pinky fingernail.
Okay.
That's how big Baby Betsy is. There's Granny,
Annie.
Uncle Pete, and Uncle Nick.
What?
Now look at Uncle Nick. What do you notice?
He has a mustache.
He has a mustache. He looks like a
sword.
and he looks like a soldier,
So he looks like he was fighting mice.
probably in the
And
mouse
King.
army. All right, so grade 1s, we have some new characters. In most ways, the tiny littles were like ordinary sized people, except for one thing. They had tails. The littles thought their tails were very handsome, and they thought the big people looked very strange without tails.
Yeah.
Now, we're gonna stop there. After lunch, I'm gonna give you the character pictures that you can put into your little's journal. And that will be all right now for chapter 1, and we'll finish chapter 1 this afternoon. I hope you enjoyed it.